Sir, we are very honored to have you in our platform. First, tell me, how does it feel to be in Kolkata, the city of joy, also the city of culture?
Kolkata, actually, I have been very much fond of ever since I first visited during my college days, and I felt a lot of, I had a lot of good feelings actually. I started having one thing actually I used to realize that at that time itself that there had been a lot of respect towards art, culture, and especially the antiques, and also the past records like books, and I used to be very much fond of College Street. So I used to visit just to see the books and all those things I used to like a lot. Of course, over the years, actually, a lot of changes had taken place, a lot of deterioration had taken place, but I still have that old memory of Kolkata, and people used to be very talkative, and you hardly get any gap between their conversation. So for me, it's very comfortable because I hardly speak. And I have a lot of sweet memories there. And in fact, when I had gone to FTI, I had come from Guwahati to appear for the written test here in Kolkata. At that time, it used to be in Kolkata, the first written test. And that also, whenever I used to go from Bombay to Guwahati or to Assam and go back Kolkata and stay, I have some friends here. In fact, FTI friends who used to be from Kolkata. I spent some days with them here in Kolkata, and I had a lot of fun actually that way.
So your journey is very fascinating. Your first film you made in the year 1982, and since then you've been making movies, and then you went to Bollywood, for instance, and then you made the Hindi film "Main Gandhi Ko Nahi Mara," and then you were part of this Mumbai cutting segment.
Yeah.
So this whole journey, when you look back and sit and look back, and right now I think you're making one film. When you look back this whole journey, how do you see? Like, did you imagine that you would have gone so far?
No, I never thought that I would, because I had a habit of doing things as it comes my way, and that's how that especially my passion leads me. I never thought that tomorrow what I would do. I never used to think that, and that. But I end up doing things like that. Plus, I had a fantastic pair of parents. Then they are the couple actually, they're full of wisdom, and they had given us all their children full freedom to choose, and they only used to be alerting us that whatever you do, try to do the best. They always also said that to be best is not possible at all, because it is not achievable. It's only a concept, but you keep that best in your laksh, then that too. So that's how actually I used to feel. Whatever I do, actually I should be, at least I should be giving my best. So that way, when I come from a very rural area in Upper Assam, Sivasagar district, and I had I had spent my childhood there, and a lot of things I realized later, much later, that the whole of the village I had come from, it is a small world by itself. So, and particularly to learn about humanity and all sorts of things, and to be a good human being. Those things actually, if you, observe properly, then there is a lot of things to learn from that kind of rural areas. So I had been very an observant child since beginning, and I used to feel very nice, and people loving each other, and caring for each other, and that I had seen as a child, and those things I always carry with me. And when I had come out for study purpose and all, I had to school and then colleges. Then I did my graduation from Guwahati, and in between I worked also, because we are not a very well-to-do family financially. But as I said, that my parents are very full of wisdom, and so they used to always encourage us. And that way, when I was doing my graduation, I got exposed to cinema for the first time. And then there is in Guwahati, there is a film club, Guwahati Cine Club, and they used to show some world classics off and on. So I got very inquisitive about that. Before that, I never had any. I had never seen so-called any world cinema. And I used to hear. I have heard of Satyajit Ray and all. Very few filmmakers. But those days actually there's no internet or all these things, so there's no possible to get information. So there was only one book called Hindustan Yearbook, and through that whatever information, GK information you get, but very little information about cinema. So I became inquisitive about this medium, rather than making entertaining films and all. And when I saw some few films, I saw Patali also during that time. I liked it very much, and I'd seen some world classics, Fellini's films, one called Last Radar, Bicycle Thieves, and Between These Cigars. Then I saw a film called A Bomb Was Stolen, a Romanian film, very unknown filmmaker, and it is a satire on nuclear power, satire on the use of nuclear power. So I like that film very much, because I was very much I used to be very much interested in nuclear physics. So when I saw that film, it was a 90-minute film, and very beautifully it was, some thought was conveyed to audience in just in 90 minutes, that it's this is a power. If it is used properly, it can help mankind, but if it is misused, it can destroy the entire world. So such a beautiful concept, a beautiful thought Actually, it was conveyed in just in 90 minutes with his stories and all. Then I felt that this is such a powerful medium. Cinema is such a powerful medium. I had been, reading that time about nuclear physics and all, but then during my textbook reading, and I never used to have this idea that how I should be connecting to humanity and all. So I felt very touched by the film. It was not a well-made film, but even then, the idea was conveyed. And so I got attracted towards the medium of cinema rather than films. So I wanted to know where I could study about cinema, and so I started reading about, I came to Calcutta because of that, to buy some books. And I couldn't get only one in College Street. I got a book, Theory of Film by Crockware. So I bought that book. I didn't understand anything, but even then, it was a very glossy book. I liked it, and there were a lot of interviews were there. I went back, and then I thought where I could apply. I went, I found out some addresses from Hindustan Yearbook, including the Pune address, FTI. I just wrote to them, and also the film school in Poland, Lodz, in Lodz city, from where Roman Polanski had done his course. So in both, only by post actually they used to have interviews, and I got through in Poland. But problem was that that it was a 5-year course, plus 1 language, 1 year for language. So I got selected here in meanwhile in FTI. I opted for FTI because it's a 3-year course. So that's it. That's how I got hooked. Then after that, of course, I used to be, frankly speaking, I used to be very much envious. You can say envious, or rather jealous also, of other filmmakers. Great filmmakers, including Satyajit Ray, and Bengali films, and they used to make some. They used to be very much in the news. So I wanted. I thought that maybe I should be doing. Doing things actually which can help Assamese cinema to bring it to some kind of, if not world map, but at least a national map and all. So that way my urge became double every day. And so after FTI, I went to Bombay to do, to have some experience on production in practical field. So I started I assisted Aruna Vikas. They were my seniors for a film called Shak, starring Vinod Khanna and Shawan Azmi. And after that, I started making my own film, Aparupa, first film. Actually, that I wrote the script. I submitted to NFDC, and it got selected. That's how I moved on. But as I said earlier, that it's a passion. Actually, I can't explain that. And I must do that kind of thing. I push myself in such a way. Sometimes I can't explain to myself why that passion.
So talking about your films, the underlying theme is always being talking about the marginalized people, social issues. So was it a conscious decision for you to bring out these, highlight these, or explore these issues?
Pardon, actually,
I wanted to say, like, most of your films always have this underlying theme
yeah.
of marginalized people or social issues. So was it a conscious decision for you to make this kind of film?
Yeah, as I said, actually, that I had been one of my passion actually. That's I had been liking to observe things all the time. I look around and then I sometimes, as I said, that since childhood, I have been very much, say, concerned about human aspect, and all the time whenever I look around, when there is a loss of humanity, I react. I mean, earlier I never used to know what to do. After I became filmmaker, I always feel that I can at least make a film. That way, actually, that it has taken shape into some films. All the social issues, actually, that it's not just in favor of humanity all the time, but that there's somewhere there is link, and from time to time I have reacted. Each film actually I've done, and mainly actually to make my audience. For me, actually, my audience is my society. So some kind of social responsibility which I used to feel I must have. So that way I try to consider that my audience itself, they are my society. So I feel after when they see my film, they go back, they return home with a sense of some kind of concern towards humanity in whatever aspects they get connected to. So, so each subject I had taken up, there is a touch of humanity that way. And other thing is that sufferings of humanity. As I said, that whenever there is a loss of humanity, I immediately react. So I can't stand certain things like injustice, and I suffer a lot. And earlier, before I had become filmmaker, I used to suffer a lot. I used to have sleepless nights sometimes for nothing. Equally, I can't do anything. But why this, why that, why all these things actually. Even as a child also I had suffered a lot. But thanks to cinema, because after I became a filmmaker, at least I have a platform to, show my angst.
Like an outlet for you.
Yeah, there's outlet. And I feel relaxed. I feel relaxed and relieved that at least I have done something. Whether people take it or not, that is another issue. So that's how I feel. I feel very attached to cinema.
So taking from there, do you think filmmaker or any artist per se has the responsibility to be vocal about what's happening in this world?
Somewhere they have to. They have to have. Let out their voice, because it's important. Because the filmmakers not the common human being, a common person. He is something more than that. And each and every filmmaker, as a creator, they need to consider himself or herself that he has a responsibility, because that it is some kind of quality, and that needs to be utilized to help the world go forward. So it is very important that each filmmaker contributes that way. That way I feel the filmmakers, whether they like to be like that or not, but they are supposed to be contributors, and they should be also. A lot of things actually depend on them, not just filmmakers, writers, or any creators, any creative people, and that they should not shy away from that. That's responsibility.
So over the years, how have you seen the Assamese film industry evolve over the years?
Yeah.
How do you see that? Like, if I say from 1982 now, right now 2025, how do you just see evolution of Assamese films or industry?
We had a very good beginning actually. I would say that the first filmmaker, Jyoti Prasad Agarwala, making Jayamati in 1935, and it's amazing to think that in such a situation where there is unthinkable, it was unthinkable to make a film or something that time, and he made somehow he managed to make it, and that kind of energy is the Assamese cinema started with. So we, because of that, actually, that it's a very, very good beginning, I would say. We all get inspired as filmmakers. When my time came, it was almost say quite a few decades later, 4 or 5 decades later, and that the whole society has changed. Even we saw independence and all. Even after independence, a lot of things had the Assamese society, the historically what it was and what it has become. All these things that we got to study, that we used to feel that, and what we have fed also, that also we have gone through. So some kind of realization are taking place in me. So that way, I feel that each of the Assamese filmmakers must have gone through that thought process. But if I have to say that I have the bigger madness than them, because I think too much, and I react too much. So Assamese cinema, that way, what I had seen up to one point, and it was some kind of usual, it was going on a usual ongoing process. During my time, actually, that there was some kind of deviation. Actually, I feel I'm not trying to brag or something. I had deviated from there. It's a usual stuff, actually, that tearjerkers and all this kind of. So we need to, do more than that. That is what I felt, and I tried to do justice to that. So now the new lot, new crop actually, they are they are also very talented, and as everywhere, they are very smart. Sharp, and sometimes lack of patience. That is what I feel. But they are equipped to do good films, very good films. Whether they are doing it or not, that is another thing. But I feel that there is a lot of interest coming in the new crop, and taking cinema forward. Not that they are keeping it stagnant.
Sir, earlier you mentioned about your passion for film started from Guwahati Cine Club.
Yeah.
So how do you see the film society movement right now in Assam? Where is it? Like, what is the present situation?
Practically, it is nil, because it is hardly any film society movement. People have tried. People have tried a lot, because see what happens. As I see it, when I look back, and say in 60s, late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, a lot of materialism had come in, and as a result, people in general, they got disconnected from all this, socio-cultural thought processes. So they hardly used to connect to that. So whatever the development had taken place in that front, it's only due to the individual interest, and collectively people have hardly participated. And when there is a film or something, they hardly go to see that film and hardly appreciate that kind of. So they are more into commercial. So as a result, there has been some kind of disconnection. And fortunately now, I think since about 2 decades, again it's coming back. People are more interested to see, say, fresh cinema or fresh thought processes. So that way, I feel very hopeful.
So I believe you finished or just worked on your latest film.
Yeah.
If you could talk about that with our viewers, share the main theme of your latest film.
Latest film. Actually, now I'm shooting a film. Okay, this is another some kind of, as I said, that I react to any kind of loss of humanity or loss of anything, a system, beautiful system which is there traditionally, and when there is a law, people get disconnected from it, I react. And that is one thing actually that people have been, I felt very sharply that people have been over the years, since recent years, they are getting more disconnected from tradition and also family system, and as a result they're getting into a lot of chaos. See, for me actually, I have been a beneficiary of a strong family, and I always I would say that family must be there, and families must exist. So this film actually I am making to make a statement on that. It's a feature film about a couple who had fallen in love, and they got married, and then they had issues, some other issues, and then they get into problems, they divorce. Then after that, both actually they experience their new lives, and they slowly they feel that the absence of the that love which they had started with, and then they in their in their research or in their journey, they have a fresh journey, with each other, and then in their minds, and then a time comes, actually they reunite, and which is of course that it's a people can say that only in dream it happens, but for me no, it can happen, and so I have been a dreamer that way anyway, that I have coined a term called possible realities. Possible realities, and this is a realism I believe in, and that's a possible. It is possible. So, and that possible realism gives me happiness.
Wonderful. So before I end this interview, I can't leave you without asking your acting, because your character of Ken, Uncle Ken in Paatal Lok season 2, everybody has liked it. So how did all this happen, and how was the experience in part of this project?
Oh, it was a, in fact, it was a shock for me actually when I was approached. Of course, earlier also I had been approached by some fellow filmmakers and some filmmakers for these kind of roles, and I had never responded, positively, and I never wanted to act. But this was an exception, because the writer and the maker was from FTI. He was my very junior, very recent recent batches, and the writer was had stayed in Assam during his college days, and he used to know the region properly. So earlier what I used to have feel that whoever used to approach me for such a character to be played, so I used to see that they have no genuinity. There was no genuinity, because in North it's almost like a fashion kind of thing for them actually, that I don't know how to explain, but I used to feel that there is no respect towards Northeast. So that is what I used to. It used to bug me a lot. For the first time, this is a subject. So there are some issues actually they were addressing, and okay, it was for it is concerning Nagaland, but at least in collectively it is addresses the entire Northeast. So I like their approach. It's a genuine approach, and honest approach. So that I wanted to. Well, of course, I was shocked when they approached me, but they insisted. I said no. I will not do it. I cannot do it. But almost it went on for 6 months, and then I wanted to read the script, so they sent me the script. So that is where actually I felt, the approach has been honest. And then I used to remember that how the young filmmakers, they're coming up with a lot of ideas and all this. So why not? I mean, get into it for a change. So that's how I said okay, and that's how it happened. I had a lot of fun actually in front of camera.
Thank you for this wonderful interview, and thank you for your time. And we hope to see you more in the city.
Yeah, sure, I would come.